You guys are not going to believe this, but whenever the number 666 appears on my subscribers page, how many subscribers? It could be 666, could be 1,666, it could be 10,666. On that day, always is some disaster. And today's disaster is I went swimming with my GoPro camera, and I made a video about my foot and all the people that are trying to help me and why I didn't go to the doctor to build up my immune system. And I made the video, but before I went to make the video, look, see that water that's coming out of there? That's salt water. I made the video sitting on the boat in the ocean on the doggett, and before I left to go to the doggett, to the ocean, I opened up both little windows, the one for the battery and the one for the charging here, and cleaned out. There's little tracks in there. I cleaned out the tracks and checked to make sure, not dust, but a human hair. Like, you know, your hair just blows around on the floor, and you're working with the camera, one piece of hair goes in there, an eyelash, and it goes across this little track here, this little rubber seal, and what will happen is the hair will allow water to get into the camera. So, and just today, I don't do it every time I go, but when I go in the water, I do it every time. And today I did it again, and everything was clear. And now, when I made the video, after I made the video, I decided to go swimming. Well, I decided, and that's all salt water. That's all salt water. That's not fresh water. It will be fresh water in about an hour. We'll see if I can soak it in fresh water. Once I get this battery out, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, and I'll take the SD card out. Now, I'm sure the SD card, I put it in my mouth to get the salt water off it. It had salt water on it too. I've found SD cards in the ocean 2 days after I lost them out of my pocket in Sabang, Philippines, and they worked. So the only video I had on this SD card was a video of me on the boat talking to the, oh man, that's, okay, so let's go throw it in fresh water. Let's just go over there and throw it into the fresh water. Sometimes if you take electronics and you put it into the fresh water and then you let it dry in the sun, this is fresh water. And here goes my GoPro. My GoPro is gone. I guess it couldn't hurt it. Oh God. Oh man. Oh, I'm upset about that. I'm upset because I would have been really upset had I not checked the seals, but I looked. I did my best. There's nothing like putting your camera, opening it up and putting your camera in water. There's just no feeling like it in the whole world. It feels like something you've never done before. And why does it feel like something you've never done before? Because you're not supposed to do things like this. This little camera cost me 20,000 pesos or $400. And I sincerely doubt it will ever work again, because the camera was actually making a video when it stopped, which means electric was going through the electronics. And if electric is going through electronics and salt water gets mixed into the electric and the electronics, typically the electronics are just a memory. They're never going to work again. And there's the battery. That's another thing you would never expect to do, although these batteries are sealed. The battery, I'm sure, is good. Oh God, here's my GoPro, my underwater GoPro, underwater in the Philippines. Oh boy. This is the only thing I know that I could do. I don't know. I am thinking that because the battery was on and it shorted with the battery on, it's not going to ever work again. I could be wrong, but if the battery was off and the salt water got in there and you soak your electronics, the possibility exists that it didn't burn up. But this, in all probability, is now a paperweight. Now, I'm soaking it and draining the water out of it, because wherever the salt water went, it went on all the inside cavities of the camera. So I was only in 3 feet of water. Oh man. 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 Ha! I'm not the happy camper. Oh, so this is basically 20,000 pesos. A 20,000 peso paperweight, a $400 paperweight at this point. It'll never work again. I'll take it into the shop after it soaks for a couple of hours and blow it out with the compressor, and it's still sunny out. Well, the sun is not going to dry this today. It would probably have to be out there. And when I put it in the sun, I'll drain the water out, blow whatever water I can out also, and then you have to put it in the sun. See, the problem is water got underneath this part too. This is like a double layer right here. That's solid. You see those little bubbles? There's like 4 bubbles at the bottom of the screen. In the middle, those are air bubbles. Those are not water bubbles. They were there when I came up, when I opened up. They were there when I opened up the house, and I looked at those bubbles, and I said, "Oh boy, the camera leaked," and the camera did leak, and now the camera is not leaking anymore. It's 100%. It's equalized. There's no more air bubbles coming out of there. This camera is now equalized. Oh yeah, that is just so pretty. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh man. Oh boy. Okay. Had I not checked for dust and hair particles, had I not checked, I would be upset. But I checked. I checked. I took my toothbrush. No, I put it back. I took a toothbrush, and you go along the track and you knock the dust out, and put my glasses on, my high-powered glasses. Every time this number appears on my computer, the day that number appears on my computer, that day, there's a disaster. Some disaster, not always happening to me, but every day that number appears on the computer. And this morning when I woke up, I took a screenshot of 16666, and I have it in my files somewhere. And does it really matter? I took a picture on 16/6/62, 16/6/63, and then I caught 16/6/65 last night at about 4 o'clock this morning, actually, and then 16/6/66. Every day, every time that number appears on my, every time. It's like mystical. I'm not even kidding. It's like I know something bad is going to happen that day, and there's nothing I could do about it. Oh yeah, $400 paperweight. Oh God, that pisses me off. What pisses me off, what pisses me off even more, is that it was a functioning camera and now it's garbage. Okay, now things break, you can fix certain things. Your car breaks, you put a new axle in it. The transmission blows up, you take the transmission out, you fix the transmission. None of that stuff is none of it's complicated, just the nuts and bolts. But this, I tried to get a switch, the on-off switch for my GoPro Hero 4. Okay, I think if I'm correct, it's a C10, a Charlie 10 switch. It lasts. GoPro makes it so that it lasts so many clicks. It was on the internet 3 or 4 years ago. You turn the camera on and off so many times and it fails. Whatever it is, could be 30,000 times, could be 10,000 times, but the switch is designed to fail at a certain amount of clicks. Predetermined obsolescence. The Hero 2 camera was something similar. None of that the Hero 2 and the Hero 4 would not be problematic, except that in the Philippines, where I live, you buy the camera from the people there, and if you have a problem with it 31 days later or 8 days later, I forgot what the warranty on this camera was, I had a problem with it, and the girl says, send it to Manila. Do you know that I said, okay, give me the address. I even made videos to attest to this. I have them on my computer, but I didn't post them. I didn't post them because I was pretty upset. And I didn't curse or anything like that, but I was upset with the girl for being an idiot. That's basically what I was upset about. And she was an idiot because the camera didn't work. So I said, give me the address. I don't have the address, sir. I have to look it up. So I said, I'll wait. She goes, come back in an hour. So I go back in an hour. She didn't have it. I cannot find it. I said, well, call up Manila. We don't have the ability to call Manila. I said, well, where's your boss? No, sir, I cannot call my boss for this issue. Well, how do I get my camera fixed? She tells me send it to Manila. That's what you get in the Philippines. There's no like service counter behind the sales counter that can fix anything for you. It doesn't happen. So eventually, I came back in a week. She's, I have another camera. Well, I had another camera at the time that I could use, and she said she'd come back next week, or come back tomorrow. So I'll be back next week when I do my shopping. Next week she didn't have the thing, and she couldn't get me the address. Now here's the service center, GoPro service center in the ICM mall, that can't get me the address for the GoPro repair service in Manila. But eventually what she did was she gave me a telephone number, and I said, can you call it up? No, sir. You call. I'm not allowed to call that number. Why? You sell the camera. Yes, sir, that's a different department. Okay, so I get home and call the number, and the number is the wrong number. Not necessarily the wrong number, but she wrote it down wrong. Well, she gave me the wrong number. That's the service that you get in the Philippines. So that's the problem with living here. If the C10 switch would have broke on my GoPro Hero 4, I would have been able to simply bring the camera to the service center in New York or Florida, where I lived, even 60 miles away. But here, it's a whole nother island. You have to fly there or take a boat. It's like 9 hours or some shit from the time you leave the dock here. From the time you leave the dock here, get to Manila, I think it's 6 hours. I don't know. But you have to go to Cebu, and then you have to go to Manila. They don't have a direct boat from Bohol, and if they do, it's something new. But at the time, you had to go to Cebu first. I got off topic. Sorry. This is what you deal with. You people think it's easy living in the Philippines. It's not. It's not easy. Oh, this is upsetting. You have no idea how upsetting this is. The big problem here is that the salt water goes into places that the fresh water is never going to get into to wash it out. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna end this video. I might not get upset with my YouTube subscribers, but I sure do get upset with the garbage that people produce and sell. I have no idea which seal broke. I have no idea if it was the window in the front that leaked. If a hair fell off my head after I cleaned it. I have no idea what the problem was. I held it away from my body. Okay, I'm done. My camera's done. My GoPro underwater camera doing tricks. Spinning, the new spinning GoPro underwater camera. All right.